Hello, thank you for joining our webinar. We'll be starting in just a moment. I see some more people trickling in, so we'll be starting in about 15 seconds. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the latest in the Edge Highlights webinars. Today we'll talk about revolutionizing drywall estimating with the Edge. My name's Dave Chapman. Let me bring up the next slide here. Sorry. Okay. So my name is Dave Chapman. I'm the sales director over here at the Edge, and I'm going to talk about some of the features within the Edge that set us apart from some of our competition or other estimating methods out there. I'm going to run through a few slides talking about that, and if anybody's an actual current customer, I'm going to jump into the program at the end and show you some neat tips and tricks that the Edge can do for things like drywall and acoustical ceilings that some of the other software methods out there cannot do. All right. So first thing, if you're not familiar with the Edge Estimator, it's an all-in-one package, meaning it's a single platform takeoff and estimating solution. It's no takeoff with one software, do your blueprints and measuring on one software, and then plug those numbers into another software. It's all in one, so as you're doing your takeoff, the estimates being updated real time. Also, the Edge has cloud-based data. What that means is your jobs, your estimating assemblies and default pricing and labors are all sitting in the cloud. It means you can work from anywhere. It's secure. We also keep a third hidden database of all of your images, and I'll talk about that later. But that cloud capability is what gives you the ability to do multi-location collaboration. That means you can have an estimator that's working remotely from Hawaii, working inside of the same bid as someone in your office in Kentucky. Because of the cloud, they can just check out their own sections, and I'll get a little bit more into that. Have people working on the walls from one area, someone else working on the ceilings, all within the same bid. Going to show you some interior specific features that we've put together that's unique for things like acoustical ceilings especially. We also have mobile options within the Edge to connect to the field. We call that option Edge on Site. It's an app for your iPad where people can track production in the field and update your bid real time, see if you're on track or not. We also have some integration capabilities. Our parent company Foundation, we integrate with their accounting software. We also integrate with some other accounting softwares out there. The thing that I talked about with the Edge being an all-in-one system, not two separate softwares for takeoff and estimating, is about the changes being made to the estimate real time as you're doing your takeoff. You can have your estimate on another screen and have your takeoff on a second screen, and you'll see the actual quantities for your materials update as you're doing your takeoff. So there's no data transfer issues or no having to manually type in quantities into a spreadsheet or something like that. Changes to the takeoff after the original estimate auto changes the bid. What that means is if you've accidentally taken off some walls as one wall type, if you just cut and paste into another wall type, all of your materials update automatically for you. Right. More about the cloud-based data is leaving bids on your local machines or on your server right now leaves them vulnerable to attack. We've seen this happen 100 times, even with the ransomware. Having the cloud is secure, offsite storage. It's got data redundancy, meaning it's being backed up in multiple locations. It's accessible from any machine. So as long as you have a machine with the Edge on it, whether it be a Microsoft Surface, a laptop, or a PC, as long as you have an internet connection, no matter where you're working from, you can access your estimates and make changes. Right. The multiple location collaboration, this is what we talked about a little bit earlier. We do have a check-in and check-out process. We were just talking to somebody yesterday about having multiple estimators inside of the same bid, and how are you going to avoid double dipping or someone putting a different price on the same item. So we have a check-in and check-out process that helps make sure none of that stuff happens. We're going to show you a couple of trade-specific features. We also have other plugins besides the Edge on site, but we have plugins for other trades besides drywall and acoustical. We also have an EFIS specific module. We have a painting module that's very popular. We also have a flooring module if you get into the VCT and carpet and things like that. All right. Talked a little bit about Edge on site, but we also have cloud reporting. What that means is as long as you have a device, whether it be a cell phone, a tablet, PC, laptop with a browser on it, you can access your Edge portal and you can view reports for jobs from anywhere. If you need to take a look at a stocking report and you're in the field, just pull it up on your cell phone and you can look at it that way. Okay. Now let's jump into the program a little bit and show you a couple of cool features. I'm not going to do death by PowerPoint here, so let's just get right in. For someone that's never seen the Edge before, and you want to see a full demo of all the features, just give us a call, give us a contact. I'll put some contact information up at the end. But if you have any questions as we're going through here, there is a spot for you to type in questions. I'll try to answer them as best I can. But showing you a couple of features here. The Edge has a image manager where you can load in any of your blueprints. You can make changes, you can overlay blueprints, you can have people sign them, you can modify blueprints, you can organize them however you'd like. This isn't particularly unique to the Edge, but what is once you've gone in and you've set up the different conditions that you want to measure, you just go directly to your Takeoff, and it's, even though it's on a separate screen, it's all in one program. So if I make any changes here right now, it's automatically going to make some changes to your material quantities. Before I show you any of that, I just want to show you some of the features within the program that if you're a current user, you might not know. If you're not a user of the Edge, it's kind of cool features. So let's pull up our preferences here. In our preferences, we have a setting where you can put up the different size rooms that you have. I'm referring to this for ceilings more, whether it's drywall ceilings or acoustical ceilings, where you can set up different parameters for tiny rooms, small rooms, medium rooms, large rooms, huge rooms, etc. So that the Edge is smart enough so that as you're doing your Takeoff, and I'm just going to do a little bit of Takeoff for acoustical ceilings here, right? You just measure out your areas. My mouse isn't catching up with me, sorry. Get out of here. All right, there we go. So you can measure oddball areas like this. If you have any radius walls, you just hit one point on a radius, any point in the middle, third point, it's a letter K that converts it to an arc. You can also use that for deducts. So if you're coming over here, you hit the beginning point, any point along the middle, maybe just go back here and hit my deduct. Beginning point, middle point, third point, hit the letter K. That's my new beginning point, middle point, third point, hit the letter K. Oop, and it takes out that area. We also just can measure straight regular areas like this. And for those of you that are Edge users, you may or may not know that we have the rectangle feature too, where you just hit your 2 points and get some measurements like that. But now that I have some different sized rooms in there, I want to show you what that will affect in our labor. So I'm going to go to our labor screen where it's going to have our things like our grid and our wall mold. And here I just have my tile coming up here. And now it's telling us how many square feet we have of huge rooms, how many square feet we have of medium rooms. Those are the only two sizes I have right now. And you can have it preset what your production rate is, whether it's per hour, per man day, or your cost per square foot. But here I'm saying for my medium rooms, I can get 800 square feet done in a day. When it comes to huge rooms, I can get 1,000 square feet done in a day. You're not cutting as many tiles and you're just throwing them up on there. All right, so getting back into that acoustical condition as well, I just want to show you a few things that the Edge has that I think are advantageous over other methods. Here, if you look at our tile types, the Edge has a complete list of all the different tile types, and if you're to select one of them, it knows whether it's tabular or square edge, what the square foot per carton is, what size tile it's going to be. All that's preloaded into the Edge. We also have preloaded into the Edge all the different specialty types of systems. So if you're working with metalworks or formations or anything like that, we've got all those pre-built into the Edge, as well as all the different types of tees and things that you might work with. Another really kind of cool, unique feature to the Edge is acoustical condition, is where we have things like how we calculate our waste. We call this increments, where you can just say lay out the tiles geometrically on the drawing the way you want them to look, what the mathematical approximation is for the materials. The most popular here is going to be the median method, and what this is doing is I'm saying every time we go 1 inch over an increment of 2 feet, it's going to look at it like it's the next, bump it out to the next 2 foot measurement. So what that means, if you have a corridor that happens to be 10.5 feet wide, it's going to look at the Edge, will look at the material like it's the 12 foot wide corridor and calculate your waste accordingly. Really gets your materials dialed in that way. We also have things built into the Edge that allow you to account for different seismic standards depending on where you are in the country. Seismic category A, B, C, D. We have those pre-built into the Edge. All right, a couple other neat features to jump into. It's just how we build a condition within the Edge. I happen to be in what we refer to as our partition condition, and I'm going to come in here and just say what my centers are going to be, what the gauge is, and you'll see while it's on gauge, some other areas just turn red. What that means is the Edge will auto feed to speed things up for you. So if you're choosing a new gauge stud, it'll affect your track as well. If you change the size of the stud, it'll change the size of the track. You can always override those, but it's trying to auto feed things to speed you up. If I'm putting the size of the length of my stud that I'm using and the length that I'm cutting, this will directly affect the height of the board. If we're framing all the way up to the deck and we're not putting drywall up, you can always override that. But again, it's trying to auto feed to speed you up. When we set our centers over here, it's actually auto feeding to our insulation size. So we've got 16-inch insulation going over here. If I change my centers to 24 inches, it's also going to change my insulation size to 24 inches. So little things like that actually end up saving you time. Okay. Moving on from this, we talked about some of the advantages of the cloud. One of the things that we see from people moving from our competitors and other estimating methods are their estimate losing connection to their drawings. If they've accidentally deleted their drawings or moved them to another folder, the drawing screen just ends up showing the Takeoff without any blueprints behind it. The Edge actually saves a copy of your prints that you put into the job in the cloud. It's in a whole separate database in the cloud for you. So even if you've deleted them off of your computer, or you moved them, or you've deleted them off of your server, the Edge doesn't care. It's going to keep a copy of those prints in the job for you. Huge inconvenience if you were to lose them that way and you have to reconnect all of your prints. So just thought I'd bring up that pain point right there. Another advantage to the cloud. Another advantage to the Edge being cloud-based is how we use what we refer to as vendor quotes. This is a function of the Edge that's only available because of the cloud, where we come out here and we hit this little vendor quotes button, and that's going to open my browser. I'm using Chrome at the moment, and this will allow you to select different suppliers that you want to get quotes from. Say, hey, I want to get quotes from these 2 suppliers, and I need the numbers by Friday. All right, you can send this out, hit send, boom, shoots an email to your suppliers. They get it, whether they're checking their mail on their cell phone or their computer or whatever, opens up a link for them to put in their pricing, sends it all back to the Edge job, and you'll be able to compare prices side by side, choose which vendor's prices you want, and boom, it'll preload right into the Edge for you. If you wanted to remember those prices for the future, you just mark everything, hit this little save the database function, say I want to send that price back, and now your database gets updated for all of your users because it's cloud-based. If someone else now logs in from their computer and they do a bid, they're going to have the most up-to-date pricing in there. You can always override the pricing, but they'll have the latest one that's been sent back to the database. That's also true of using our labor function within the Edge. This is now, you'll see a lot of these things already have production rates on there. If I wanted to change my default production rate for one of these guys and say, hey, we can get 150 square feet done per hour, you mark those, you update them, and you hit send to database, you send that new production rate back. Now that default production rate's been updated for everybody that's using the software. Okay. Getting into the 15-minute range, I'm just going to go in and show you a couple of other quick things. If you would like to see a full demo of the Edge and all the things that it can do that your current software may or may not be able to do, just give us a call. But last thing I want to show you is what we refer to as our portal. This is where we can come out, take a look at any of the jobs that we've done over period of time. You can also track and see how many bids you're doing each month and see what your estimate activities looks like. But I can take any one of these bids that I've worked with in the past, click on it, and even if I'm on my cell phone or I'm on a tablet, you have the ability to come out and take a look at reports. You don't even need a license to be doing this. You just log in to the portal through your browser, and you can start looking at your stocking reports, things like that. You can also transfer your data into your accounting software if you wanted to. Here's my foundation budget export. Very convenient. You can just have an accountant who doesn't even have a license to the software log in and create that export for you right there. Okay, so those are just a few of the things I wanted to highlight about the Edge. So sweet and to the point. I'm going to pull up another slide here with our contact information. All right, so estimating Edge, I know some of you are users already that I see, some of you are not, but if you aren't a user and you want to get full demonstration of the Edge, just visit our website or call our phone number right here. If you're a current user and you want to learn how to do some of these tricks that I was showing you about and setting the different room sizes, give us a call. We'll walk you through that. We're always happy to help our users become power users. And lastly, before I go, just want to point out that we are part of a family of softwares. We're owned by Foundation. They're great accounting software. Most of our construction customers are using this. We also have a whole suite of safety and crew management. We call HQ Suite, payroll for construction. If you're a union contractor, definitely take a look at that. Our sister company, McCormick, does estimating software, and then for mobile time tracking, the cream of the crop is WorkMax. So give us a call if you have a question about any of those, and we'll point you in the right direction. But thank you for your time. We'll leave it at that. I don't see any questions that I haven't addressed already. So thank you. Hope you all have a great day. Take care.